This is a First Alert Weather Report.
And thank you guys very much for joining us here on CBS News New York, checking in on what was blizzard of 2022. And it's not done yet for some folks. Looking out over New York City, much calmer, right? We've got a couple flurries flying around, but it is cold. Cold air, it's one of the signatures of this storm, 19 degrees. You've got some winds, 15, maybe even 23 miles per hour. So those numbers are feeling, significantly colder out there. But the snowfall just always ends up being the most talked about part of a winter storm. Even though the winds play a huge factor. If you're going to have a blizzard, you have to have the winds, and that's what we had today out there. We still have them blowing, but snowfall, let's get right to it, because over 1.5 feet in Bayville, New Jersey, 19 inches for you. Tuckerton, New Jersey, 16 inches. Brick, 14.8. Howell, 13 inches. Shrewsbury, 12.5. Let's go to Long Island. I think Long Island's going to end up having bigger numbers than that. More snow out there. Sayville has 17.5, Comac 15 inches, Plain Edge has 14.3, Deer Park has 13.5 around town. Right now, the biggest number that we have on this list is Jackson Heights in Queens, 11.3. Howard Beach has 11 inches. New Dorp, 8 inches. Same reading in Crown Heights, Central Park. I'll tell it to you, and you can read it with me. It's 5.3, but we haven't updated that since 7 a.m., so I may make a trek to Belvedere Castle myself and take a reading when I have a break here around dinner time. But what we see on the radar picture, all right, and I've been doing this all day long, following the edge of the storm, because still some pretty good snow showers out east, right? We knew that was going to be the case, but you're finished. You're finished off here in western areas of New York City. I mean, there's the line where the snow is and where the snow is not. We actually have some snow still falling in some areas that were never the focus, but there was a pretty good little batch up around, let's say Dover, New York. It's kind of faded away now. Got this right around Danbury, Connecticut, and they've been holding on to that for a little bit on top of 84. And then you can take a push down towards the Jersey Shore. Sandy Hook, you have a little batch right now hanging there. Long Branch, you had a big strip that stretched all the way down to Seagirt and Wall, but that's kind of faded away, and that's a signature of a storm, right? Get the strong snow, and then it sort of breaks for a little bit. Does it come back? I think the idea of them coming back at this point in time for the Jersey Shore, points north and west, is a low possibility. You got to Long Island. This is where we still see some pretty decent bands clinging to the South Shore area. See it eroding. You see all that snow sort of fading away right there. I think this has a chance to fill back in because you're not quite done. Again, I'm going to show you where we had the strongest band, which was out at one point in time, anywhere from, say, Southampton eastward. We have it sitting here offshore right now. That could very well trickle onshore around East Hampton. But again, you look at this picture, it's not as filled with those dark blue colors as we had earlier. That's now made its push up towards the Boston area. And this is what we're dealing with. End of the storm is right there. Southern edge is right there. This is all going to be pushing on through the area. So let's get right to it. If you look at it on the computer models, this is what it will look like at 5 o'clock. Really, it's kind of east of New York City at that point in time and sort of clinging more to Nassau, Suffolk County. That's 5 p.m., okay? Then we're going to put you to 6 p.m. It continues to push off to the east, but still some pretty decent bands. Not the heaviest of the storm, but they're still out there. That's 6 p.m., 8 p.m., still clinging now to just the Twin Forks. And then that even sort of fades away by the time you get to about 10 o'clock at night. But speaking of Long Island, you're going to end up getting the bulk of what this storm has to offer. I do want to check in with Vanessa, because Vanessa Murdock, you're in Long Island right now, Vanessa, and what are you experiencing where you are?
Well, I'm in Oyster Bay in Nassau County, and the snow has wrapped up here, but now the winds remain fierce and, of course, biting in the face. We're going to take you for a look out at the Oyster Bay. You can see we've got whitecaps here, and a testament to just how powerful the winds still are. I now want to draw your attention to the earth, because we can see the ground here. The winds have been pushing the snow from here into the parking lot, and the snow in the parking lot is deep enough to trap a four-wheel drive for about a half hour or so. Yeah, we witnessed a guy stuck and finally free himself after a good length of time. But the winds are still strong here, but not as max as they have been throughout the day. Let's take a look at the weather graphics and show you some of those maximum wind gusts we experienced across the island today. In Napping, 63-mile-per-hour gust. For Stony Brook, a 60-mile-per-hour gust. In Southold, 51 miles per hour. Wantagh, 48. And in Bayville, 46 miles per hour. For the rest of tonight, 30 to 40 mile per hour wind gusts are what we anticipate. So that is why there is still a coastal flood advisory in effect until midnight. Here in Oyster Bay, high tide is roughly around 9 p.m. and we could see some minor to moderate coastal flooding across portions of Suffolk as well as Nassau County. So this location where we're standing right now, Lonnie, is one we'll have to keep an eye on, but seems like for now the snow is a wrap here in Oyster Bay, and we're getting some big silent cheers from Carlos Vasquez, one of my photographers joining me tonight. He's in really good mood about that. But the winds are worse than the snow, in my opinion.
Vanessa, I got something for you I want to ask you, because you showed us that map about the coastal flood advisors that are out there. You're on the North Shore, and ironically, Vanessa, what are you seeing any whitecaps out there? Because that wind is coming in from the north. I think the flooding concern is more so for the North Shore than it is for the South Shore of Long Island. Certainly the back bays as well.
Yeah, absolutely. This is something that John and I as well were discussing this morning, Lonnie. And for tonight's high tide cycle, because of that north wind that's so powerful, I absolutely agree with you that the North Shore will take the brunt of the coastal flooding for this evening's high tide cycle. But thankfully, we don't expect it to be too extreme. But also, of course, the back bays, as you mentioned earlier, could also see some minor coastal flooding. But yep, I do think here on the North Shore, if we see any coastal flooding tonight, it will be here. Yeah,
and of course, the temperatures are going down, and you and I have a long night ahead of us. And
oh yeah, we feel it.
One of these days, Vanessa, listen, you deserve to be in here, and I'll trudge out there, because I'm telling you, my heart is with you. When those winds are whipping out there and it's cold by the water, that's some icy temperatures you're dealing with. But thank you very much, Vanessa.
Yeah.
Cut her off. All right, guys, here's what I've got for you. We talked about the coastal flood advisories for your day tomorrow. We're going to go to an overnight low tonight of only 13 degrees. So this is what Vanessa and I were trying to touch upon, how it's just so biting cold out there. The winds are still blowing out there. And we're saying those winds are blizzard force winds are 35 miles per hour or stronger. I think you've got that into the late night out around the east end of Long Island. As far as the snow will exit. Those last snowflakes are falling anywhere, say, 8, 9, 10 o'clock. Okay, for the very east end, probably more like 9 or 10 if you ask me, when the last snowflakes exit Montauk. And then I'm going to show you the extended forecast. You can see what we're talking about for your 7-day, because we are going to warm up nicely around here, but not for a few days. So any snow you pick up certainly stays in place. You're 27 for your Sunday. All right, so you're not above freezing there. Monday, you're 33. That's not melting any snow. Tuesday, you're 40. All right, so we'll melt some snow there. Wednesday, you're 46, Groundhog Day. Again, the melt continues. You'd be surprised, though. 46 degrees doesn't erase the snow like that. It really doesn't. But 52 on Thursday with rain, yeah, that can be a snowfall eraser. Anyway, guys, that's my 7-day forecast. We'll have more coming up as we go throughout this night. Vanessa and I will be back in about an hour or so. So we'll give you a 5 o'clock update. Keep it tuned right here, guys, so we keep you up to speed on what's going on out there. It's still taking place for you folks out on Long Island. You're not done yet. And I know Vanessa showed, hey, it's a lull here in Oyster Bay. It may very well kick in a little bit more for you. You're not exactly done yet. Sit tight, guys. We'll see you back here in about an hour.
This has been a First Alert Weather Report.